So I'm Nate Massey. I'm a fifth-year senior from Corinth, Mississippi.
My name's Joe Cooper. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. I was a student. I'm going to law school as well. So.
My name is Patricia. I come from Spain, from the Southeast, and I came here to do my master's in Spanish literature.
I guess what I was looking to get out of that trip was really to delve into a culture and understand it, on top of, gain tangible skills, whether that be language or business school classes. So I did a summer in Spain doing the intermediate Spanish program, and that was really focused on cultural immersion and language proficiency, on top of kind of my first international travel experience all alone without my parents or family or anything. And then my second study abroad was in London for the GLS program, and I was really focused on, or really anticipating, kind of getting some tangible business skills. And I was going into an internship that I knew I had there, so I was looking at getting international experience, and I guess from that, getting more exposure to, like I was talking about, that's where that kind of work-life balance came from. How internationally the work-life culture kind of varies and changes.
I was expecting just to see a bunch of sites, catch a lot of like the local culture, everything like that, because we've been studying for German for so long, and now we're finally going to get to immerse ourselves in their culture. So
I was expecting opportunities that I didn't have in Spain, in both educational aspects and marketing.
And so my experiences there and my interactions with people, talking about their education system relative to ours, because I'd always be interested in what I'm studying and things like that, showed some huge gaps. So in the US, we're really trade oriented. So I am a finance major. I am learning how to work in finance. Or you're an engineer and you're learning a craft, or you go to a craft school and learn, some trade. In the UK, and this is all the way through college, they're really teaching people how to learn and how to think, as opposed to learning a trade. And the differences are massive. I think that's why the UK as a whole, as a country, has a better grasp on the English language than we do in America.
They definitely, their big focuses are science and mathematics, as opposed to us. I feel like we're kind of we get more of a liberal education, as in we study English and literature and stuff like that. But they're really big on math and sciences, and their art versus our art. We study a lot of the classic American literatures, whereas they're studying Goethe and some of the bigger writers, Nietzsche, stuff like that, the bigger writers of, they're known as the land of Dicta und Denke, or poets and thinkers. So they've got a lot to live up to, and they've got a lot more study. Their studies in literature are way more in depth than ours.
I think in Spain first, the relation between the professor and the student is more formal. So there is a distance between them. And here I feel like you can approach the professor better, you can ask questions. And secondly, I feel like the professor here gives more opportunities to students to contribute in the class, to contribute with their ideas, with their opinions. And in Spain, it's more like a lecture, so the professor will talk about a topic, and the student would just take notes.
And then also it pulls you away from your comfort zone. So I didn't have my support system around me, my parents, my friends, my family. And when that happens, it really forces you to kind of figure it out on your own, do it by yourself. And so that is a really cool growth opportunity. And I remember coming back from all of my trips internationally, especially the study abroads where I was away from my family. And it really affects you as a person, and the way that you think, and you have to operate on your own. That's really, really big, and it's something that I think about a lot. Getting ready to graduate is, had I not done that, would I be where I am today?
They're a little bit more liberal with some of their laws, in regards to drinking and nudity, stuff like that. But it's just a more European kind of society than ours. other than that, it's really not a lot different. People are people. You got people in the city, like city people are like city people, rural people are like rural people. There's not a really big difference. It's just kind of how they grew up versus the way that we grew up in our culture.
Maybe in Spain it's more like about the group, about your friends, your family, whereas I think you're like, each one is very focused on his or her own career projects.